Hey everyone, it is Ray Gauthier with Adrian Scott. Welcome to Truth and Testimony, the broadcast. And we're doing an update right now because Adrian's in the middle of getting his studio done. It's taking some time, but it's definitely going to be worth it. How you doing, my friend? You're in the big empty still.
Yeah, no, big echo. It is a big empty room still, but I can say we are on the brink of being complete. All of the construction, priming, puttying, painting, that's all done. The last thing that we need to do is we're doing a quick painting of some floorboard trim.
Yeah.
We install that trim. That should be tomorrow. And then it's what we're going to have to do a lot of tidy up, mopping and wiping walls and all that stuff. But then the cleanup begins and start moving furniture in. So our goal at this point is, because what are we at, Thursday evening here, is this weekend. So Sunday or so that we'll be moving furniture in and actually starting to set stuff up.
Wow, that must be exciting.
It's finally getting there. It got real. And here's a tiny little sneak preview. This is going to be one of my key features.
Is that in the wall?
So those are two inset shelves. They're built into the wall.
Cool.
And I've got a menorah that's going to be going up there. I've got a couple of shofars that are going to be going in there. So I'm going to do some different decorations. There's going to be a special light that I'll be throwing on that. My camera will be on the other side of the room shooting across and get me and that stuff in the background. Right. That's one of my camera shots. So there's the little tease.
Right on. That's really, really neat.
And there's two of those shelves.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. Did he already do the ceiling?
Yes.
So did he put the pot lights, or not the pot lights, but did he put the track lighting in? Oh, he did.
That's the actual lights. So nice. I have not positioned them yet. That's very raw, but that's the track lighting.
Very nice. Can you dim those?
No, that's one thing I can't do.
Is it on? Are they dimmable, those ones, or are they LEDs?
They're
not LEDs, are they?
And they're not dimmable. But keep in mind that that's not necessarily always going to be the light that I'm using. My intention is that will probably be off, because now I've got specific camera lights for me, and then I'm going to have accent lighting on these shelves and stuff. So there'll be spots of the room that will be lit up.
Yeah, and you might even have one or two of those up. Do you just have the one up there? Is that the one? The one you just showed me? Is that the one set you have up there?
Oh, the track lighting?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so how many lights do you have on there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, so you can have at least two of those aiming right where you're going to be sitting, and you can have the other ones kind of wherever. But those other lights you showed me last time, excuse me, those ones are really going to be help highlight your, I don't know, changing. It's going to be more or less giving you the light that you need when you're on camera. Yep. Those are the lights you showed me before.
Yeah. There's one cool thing about these track lights. So that the whole center bar of that can turn. And then if you notice on either end, it's on a hinge. So the last light on either end is on a hinge. So I can actually turn that hinge. So I can really adapt that lighting to any particular part of the room. So that's another nice thing about it.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you literally have control over where those lights are pointing. That's nice.
Yep.
Right on. Okay.
No, and that's honestly part of the two biggest things that slowed this down. Keep in mind, initially, the job was supposed to be this one. That was it. We were getting this puttied and painted. Then we discovered problems because he was running electrical to that wall. And in order to do that, the electrical had to go through that wall because the electricity, the panel is over in that direction. And once he opened that wall up to run the wiring, we discovered very old and faulty wiring. And it's like, okay, that's just a safety issue. We can't let that stand. So then that whole wall had to be gutted. So now we're doing two walls. And then in the process of doing the wall, we looked at something in the ceiling And when we did that, then we realized that the ceiling, not the walls, just the ceiling had asbestos. So now we had to do an asbestos removal. So it went from one wall to two walls and a ceiling with an asbestos removal. And then by the time we were getting that involved, it's like, you know what? If we're going to do this, let's do this right. So we have soundproof insulation, which was not in these walls previously or in the ceiling. Now there is soundproof insulation in the ceiling and in the walls, and had a complete new paint job done and everything else. These two inset shelves used to be on the other wall, but we've moved them over here. It was a better option for camera angle. So it just, it went from one small job becoming a bigger job to becoming, well, if we're this involved, let's do it right. And that just, all of that just slowed us down. But again, on the brink of completion. One last thing I'll show real quick is those are the baseboard trims. We just put the first coat of paint on. So once the paint dries on that, we can install that on the floor and we're done. Then it's clean up and move in.
So maybe just give us a little 360 there of how it looks. Because I remember the last time you showed, you had patches everywhere. It just, it definitely looked like you, I like that brick accent in there. That's nice.
Yes. So
that's really cool.
If you imagine you're entering the office, so I'm standing at the doorway showing this to you. What was that?
You got a new door?
No, that was always here.
Oh,
it wasn't always closed, but it was always here.
Never
so
mentioned.
I'm standing in that doorway, and here's the room. So there's the wall with the two inset shelves. Here's the other little neat trick: is behind these there's a gap. I'm putting LED strips all the way around, so it's going to backlight the wall.
Nice.
And so the desk is roughly going to stay where it is. There's going to we're having one more shelf installed on the wall over there. It's going to be my DVD holder. But as I look around a little bit, of course, we get to our wonderful wood stove, and we're going to have decorations around that too. That is real brick, by the way. That's not like a faux facade. That's actual brick. And we come around, and this is my last wall. We're going to base it. There's going to be some bookshelves that'll be going in here with all my Bible teaching books. But that's basically it. That's more or less the room. If I take a little walk over this way, kind of see it from this end. There it is.
Yeah, you know what? It's actually have you already aimed those lights on those bookshelves? Like, look at the shelves again there.
On these two?
Yeah, like back up.
I did point one light there.
Yeah, back up. Go as far as you can up against the wall there, and then show that, because you could see how that lights up like that. That is really, really neat. You got one. It looks like you got one lit up on the other one too.
Yeah, but it's not as direct. I think that one that pivots, if I pivot that arm over and turn that light, it would probably make it a little brighter like this one.
Yeah.
It would make it a little more uniform.
So what kind of lights are those?
They are LEDs.
They are LEDs.
Yes.
Oh, because the other kind of pot lights or the other track lighting they had previous times where they would have, they got really hot. So these are LEDs.
Yeah, no, these ones do not, which is a nice thing.
Okay, so they're going to last longer too, which is nice. So you can't dim those? No.
Not that I'm aware of. The switch to turn them on is not currently a dimmer. I don't know if they're dim capable.
Probably not.
The switch currently is not set.
No, if it's an LED, probably not, unless it has an app to it. But that's still really, really cool. So one other thing I was curious, can you actually turn the individual lights on the top off by just pulling one off the track, or how does that work up there?
I would have to basically unplug the bulb.
Oh, okay.
They don't actually screw in. They just snap into place.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of neat. So you can have that when you're working in there. You can have everything lit up and you get some really nice lighting in there. But if you want to get a little bit more intimate, have a more of a romantic background when you're doing some videos, that's where your other lights come in. Because those other lights that you ordered, those go bright. They probably change white to beige, probably multiple colors, don't those? Or is it just white?
The two camera lights that I got, yeah, they
Yeah,
act, what do you call those? The diffusion, is that what they call that? The color screens you can put in front of the light.
right.
I think they call that diffusion. So it has 8 different color diffusions. So
Oh,
I can
really?
actually put it as a straight white. I can put it as blue, green, red, purple, orange. So I can do all kinds of stuff with
So
those
they
lights too.
so they do change color.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you can brighten them or dim them.
Yes,
So
those are very customizable with dimming. They
that's kind of look.
actually, if I don't see where I'd ever use it, but apparently they also have a strobing effect.
Maybe that might be a deterrent for someone breaking into your place, like a taser. But
Yeah.
you know what? You know the reason why I was thinking about that is if you actually had your chair next to your little wood stove, like you said you were going to, and you've got the fire inside of it going, and of course you've got the camera looking at you, and you don't want to have the light too bright because you want to be able to show the accent of the fire. You could have your light just light enough to light up your face, where it can see you, but still you can
Yeah.
still see the
I could even,
fireplace in the fire.
I could even make the lights red and then turn them down so it's enough to illuminate me, but kind of match the fire and just give the whole room that warm
Yeah.
look.
Yeah, I got a feeling you're going to have a lot of fun with that.
Oh yeah, there's lots of stuff I'm going to play with.
Yeah,
The
that's
last
cool.
question is, it's either going to be that far wall where the bookshelves are going, or possibly this wall behind me where I can use the green screen. It'll be
Yeah.
one of those two walls.
Okay. So here's the big thing here. Here's the question I got for you. When you get everything done in there, it looks like to me you're putting the paneling in
Yeah,
around
it's
there.
the floorboard trim,
Yeah.
and that's it. That
Yeah.
is it. That's literally it.
And you do you have a carpet for it or do you already have that in?
I got the rug. The rug's in the other room.
Ah,
If it wasn't so disastrously filthy over there, I would show you.
yeah. Well, you know what? You're going to have to do this just for kicks. When you get everything done there, you're going to have to take a little bit of video, like with your phone, and just put the carpet in and then do another one to see how much it killed the sound just by having the carpet in there. And then when you are actually going to put up your panels, you know what you should do? We should do a call like this together when you're doing that. I don't know how long it would take you to put up the panels, but it would still be fun to do that where I could literally say, okay, the echo just died in that spot. You know, because I think that would work really well.
You've got the ear for it, that's for sure.
That would be so funny. Chris comes downstairs. What are you doing? Oh, I'm on can I use your no. Ray's telling me where the next echo's gone. What? He's helping me with putting up the panels. He's on Zoom. It would be so funny.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, right on. Well, that's really, really cool. So yeah, and I guess once you get everything together, we're gonna see once you get that all done and set up and everything, that's when you'll be completing your Jerusalem videos, or your Israel videos that we're so looking forward to seeing.
Yeah. I really want to see him too. And actually, half my family are all like, "Are you done the videos yet?"
Yeah, yeah, that's
So the
good.
one last thing I'll mention is another sneak preview, because I want to put all along this process. I've been taking photos and videos of everything that's been done in here, and I'm going to do a montage video of just the progression of everything right up to, I want to end it with a shot with the room done, decorated, and lit, and actually do like a pan around shot and just
Yeah,
put that all together as a video.
that
But
would
to
be cool.
start that video, I want to do it from out in the hallway as I'm walking into the office. I already purchased my on-air light,
Really?
Yeah, which is getting mounted above that door. So anyone coming downstairs into the house will see my
Does it
on
have
air.
a does it have a little switch?
Yeah. No, it's a neon, it's an old style neon on
Ah,
air.
I was gonna get you one. You beat me to it.
Uh, but that's going to be the shot. So the first thing you'll see is the on air light on, and then we'll walk into the room and you'll see what it looks like in complete setup.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe I'll still get you one, and we can rig that one up. You can put it on the top of the stairwell. So, like literally, you know how you go down the stairs? Have it up there. So if anyone's kids are running around or they see that red light go on, it comes on at the same time you turn yours on, but it's patched into the line to the one down below. So you have that one lit up there, and then then they know you're recording at the time. So that would be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so that's going to be what I'm doing there.
Right
Actually,
on.
there's a spot for that as you're coming down the stairs. Something that was in the house when we purchased it and we just kind of left it there is somebody had put up, it looks like a license plate, basically, like you'd see on a car, but it just says man cave.
Oh yeah.
Right. And we just thought it was kind of funny. So we left it there. It wasn't ours. But right on that chunk, as you're coming down the stairs, as soon as you turn the corner to come down into the basement, because it's like a roundabout stair set, as soon as you turn that corner, you see that man cave side. That would be the spot to put that. You can have that
Yeah.
on air right there.
That would be cool. You know, I'm down here in Yuma, and as you go north, you hit a town called Quartzsite. And this is a very popular place for snowbirds. There's a guy there that works during this time of the year. He does wood carvings. He does all these special signs that, like it'll say man cave, he'll engrave it. I mean, it's a little on the pricey side, but he does a really nice job and he uses really nice wood. I've been wanting him to do one for me that says prayer closet that I can stick in here. But
That would be cool.
I think one for you would be really cool. Call it Studio A. And the reason do Studio A and put that up there outside or whatever, standing for Studio Adrian.
True enough. Yeah.
That would be fun. Well, that's cool, man. I'm glad to see your things are coming together. I wish you could put a camera up in the top corner of the room there somewhere where you could just time lapse it when you're moving everything in.
No, I'm doing that.
Are you?
Yep, I've already figured out how I'm going to set that up, and I'm fully doing a. I was going to do a time lapse. I was going to do a time lapse video of the cleanup, and then a time lapse video of setting the furniture up.
Okay. What camera does that? Your main one?
Both, actually. So my Pixel 8 here has a time lapse mode on it, which I've tested it numerous times. Works really well. Like I was surprised how well it works.
Really?
But also my Canon M50 also has a time lapse mode.
Do you have a tripod for your camera, like for your phone?
I have tripods for both of them.
Oh, so you can just, how high does it go?
The tripod for the Canon probably goes higher. I think that one gets up to a little over 6 feet.
Yeah, because you're going to want the camera as high as you can.
Is a little bit shorter. It might be like 5'5" total.
What about using the Canon one for your phone? Will it fit on that one?
I'd have to change the mount, but yeah, probably.
Duct tape.
No, I think the mount from the phone tripod will just unscrew and I can put it on the camera tripod.
Yeah, you're going to want it as high as you can get it. Then you got the view of everything going on. That would look really, really cool. And then we could have some really cool music behind it.
Yeah.
Like Benny Hill theme or something.
Yeah. For something like that.
Nah, maybe not. The guy was a perverted old man. No, we can't have that on there.
Yeah. Kind of funny. It's too bad because he didn't really start out that way. He got more raunchy and off the tracks as time went on.
You know, another one like that really disappointed me. And I remember watching a lot of, earlier in the years is Mr. Bean. And he would do his little episodes where he wasn't saying anything and he was always driving his little car around and everything. And I found his stuff to be very, very jocular, very funny. And then until I heard some of his stand up, and his stand up's terrible. He's constantly making fun of God, the Catholic Church, and everything. He's not a very, very Christian man. I'll say that. And I'm like, oh, what a disappointment. I really liked him. So
Yeah.
once you hear what came out of his mouth, it's like, so yeah, what do you do, right?
Yeah. And then on the flip side, I have to mention this one because you might even find this interesting. But someone watching this might key in on this too, because it shocked me. I was really quite surprised. I don't know if you have ever either watched or even heard of this. It's a TV series. I think it's either on Netflix or on Amazon Prime. It's one of those ones. It's not like a regular network TV thing, but it's called Reacher.
Okay.
The character is Jack Reacher. There was a series of movies, and Reacher was played by Tom Cruise in the movies. But this is a TV series, and it stars this fella named, I hope I get this right, Alan Richson. And he's like this jacked, like he is seriously worked out in the gym. He's got some serious muscle mass, tall guy, like he's over 6 foot. I don't know the exact measurement, because apparently that character originally, that's how he was intended, was to be this tall, muscular, almost superhero level looking kind of guy. Then they end up with little 5'2" Tom Cruise. Thought that was kind of funny in the movie, but anyway, so this guy, Alan Richardson, he's doing this TV show, and that's all fine and dandy. My wife kind of got into it a little bit. My mother is into it big time. She loves Reacher. And so I heard about it through them mostly. And I'm browsing around online one day, and I'm if you go on YouTube, and I think Rumble does something similar, where when you start watching a particular set of videos or something, it'll come back at you and say, well, since you watch that, you might enjoy this, and it'll start making these recommendations for you. And I watch a lot of stuff that's biblical, a lot of Hebrew roots teachers and other biblical teachers and stuff like that. A lot of biblical archaeology is one thing I'm really into. And so I start getting these weird recommendations, and all of a sudden this one pops up, and here's this Alan Richson guy. And just by looking at him, you'd never think, oh, this is a Christian. And he's got this video, and it's just titled, People Say That I Can't Be a Christian and Play Reacher. And so he's kind of responding to this in a vlog video, right? Come to find out, he's got a whole channel called Insta Church, and he does all these biblical videos. He's talking about that stuff all the time. He's a very devout Christian. And it really surprised me to see that. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. So there are some good looking Christians.
Yeah.
Other than Michael W. Smith.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I remember us we were going to that concert. That was a good concert.
Yeah, I always remember that. Quick funny story for the viewers here. We're going to this concert, and it's Michael W. Smith and Stephen Curtis Chapman. It's like this double header, and it's like, boom, like those are two big names in Christian music. And it was awesome in Abbotsford. And we're going to check this out. And of course, Brother Ray here has got to bring his Bible with him. He brings his Bible everywhere, which is great. And we're going through the check through, and the person's like checking our stuff. He's got to go through bags, make sure you don't have any weapons or anything like that, stuff like that. And so here's Brother Ray, and he's got his Bible. I guess you had like a little zip sleeve in it.
Yeah.
So it's enclosing this whole thing. He said, I'm going to have to take a look at that. And you just had this classic instant response to him. I'll never, ever forget it. Just like, hey, feel free to read it.
That's right.
While you're taking a look, feel free to read it.
Yeah.
I thought that was classic. But that was a fantastic concert. One of the best concerts I've been to.
Yeah, I know. It was really good. Yeah. And there's something else that stood out there. Do you remember? The coffee was incredible.
Well, yeah. Well, that whole thing, because Chris has a bit of a disability. So she can't use regular seating in a lot of these auditoriums and arenas like this. So she came with us for this. And because of that, we were able to get special seating privilege. Now, the way they handled the special seating privilege in this facility was they put you in their skybox restaurant, which had tables and chairs rather than the arena style seating. So we got to sit in the restaurant up top for the whole show. We had a waiter come serving us all night, and we started ordering this coffee. Yeah, and that was like, that's one of the few times I've ever had coffee and I actually just drank it black because the coffee was that good. It's like, I don't want to put any cream or sugar in it.
I'm trying to remember the name of that stuff.
It
again.
was I'm always never sure if I'm getting it right. Van Hout or Van Hoot?
Van Hoot.
Yeah. That's the type of coffee it was.
Van Hoot. Yeah, that is really killer coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has become one of my favorite brands for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, good to see that you're finally making some progress there and you're almost done. So I don't know. Do you figure you're going to have things set up by Sunday, or is that your goal, or what are you going to do?
I'm hesitant to make any commitments just because every time it seems like in the past I've said, well, we should have it by the end of the week. Then it's been delayed for however much longer.
Yeah.
But, God willing, if everything goes smoothly, there's no reason why I shouldn't be moving furniture in and setting up on Sunday. I don't know that I'll get everything set up, but I should be in the process of setting it up by Sunday.
So that desk that I seen over to the side there, is that the one you're going to be using, or are you using a different one?
No, this will be the desk here.
Okay.
Now I have, so like the mixing board is going to go up here, and I get the mic arm on there. The computer stuff will all be over there and everything. There's going to be a little side table on far end, and that's where I will have some extra gear. Like I have
I just seen where you can mount your mic. Bring it back up there and I'll show you. I just noticed it.
What's that?
Right on the top right-hand corner. Is that a shelf up there?
Up there?
Yeah. You see
yes, it is.
You see the lip on the very top corner, right-hand corner? That's probably where you're going to mount the mic stand.
I never even thought of that, but now I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I mean, that is probably going to be like when you're doing your narration and stuff like that. But when you're actually going to be doing camera work or whatever, you probably won't be sitting at that. You'll have a little set where you're going to be, or you'll turn it around, or I'm not sure. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how you're going to do all this.
Well, there's two things, and I'm going to do a little swap over again to make the point here. So with the desk relatively in that position, the idea is that I'll have the camera on that side of the desk pointing that way, and that's where I'm getting those in the background. Or I'll have the camera over in this corner, and I can go this way and get the wood fireplace and stuff. Either way, sitting right there by the desk. Right? So then the question is, I can potentially do the green screen there, so then I can still have a camera set up over there. Right. And it just goes in front of that display for the purpose of that video. But that's the idea, is that mostly the camera would be bouncing between there or there, pointing that way or that way.
Okay. And what about behind you?
That's a whole other area, because again, that's where the bookshelves are going to go. So absolutely having a camera shot with some bookshelves in the background.
Yeah. You could have another set behind. Yeah.
Like effectively where I'm sitting right now could be the tripod and camera with the bookshelves and everything. And then I'm just front facing here.
Right.
In fact, I might even be able to work it to get the wood stove in there again and the bookshelves.
Yeah. That stove looks relatively new.
It is. It's a little dirty right now. It just needs a good scrubbing, but it's fairly new.
Okay, cool. Right on. Is that your paneling on the ground there?
Is that the what?
Paneling?
Which paneling were you referring to?
Sorry. Right down below there. Or is that just like, what's that black stuff on the ground there that's got the white frame around it? right
Oh,
there.
right there.
Yeah. What is that?
That's the stonework. You have to have that
Oh.
in front of a wood burning fireplace
Oh,
for
I
a
see.
safety thing.
It just has some
Yeah,
stuff on it. I see. Okay.
but it is stone. It's dirty, but it's stone.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right on. Well, that's really cool. Excellent. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to give us all an update on what's going on and find out why you've been such a slacker. No.
The thing is with everything going on, all of the stuff, because we've had sheetrock and paint and drop cloths and tools and sawhorses and all of this stuff, and it hasn't been the best weather. So a lot of stuff that you might normally have done outside, we couldn't really do outside. So we had to set up our handyman in the rec room area because our garage is full. So it's just clutter everywhere. So then trying to make room for him down here with all that stuff, we moved a bunch of stuff upstairs. So now
Right.
upstairs is just as cluttered as everywhere else. So there's like nowhere I can go to get a camera shot to do videos. This is like the only room, and it's echo central until I can actually get stuff set up.
How many panels do you have?
They are like they're a fair size. I think they're something like 14 or 16 by 14. So they're either 14 by 14 or 16 by 16 inch. So
Right.
that's the size of them. And there's, I think, 48 of them in the package.
Oh, wow.
So there's quite a few.
Yeah. So you just got to basically, you're going to have 5 surfaces. You're going to have your walls and you're going to have your ceiling, and you just have to divide that by 5 and then evenly distribute them.
Yeah.
More or less.
That's the basic idea. And then between that and the area rug,
Yeah.
that really should dampen all of that stuff.
I'm looking forward to hearing, like, we're going to have to, when you do get it set up and you do get the sound set right and everything, we're going to have to go, now let's take a look back before you had all this in there, what you sounded like. That's
Because
actually going to
I listen to it and I'm I don't know about anyone else, but I'm cringing. But it's
Yeah.
just like I don't really have an option at the moment. If I want to do any kind of video, that's what I have to work with. The only environment I have that sounds okay and I can do stuff in is sitting in my car.
I was just going to say that. Sitting in
But
your car.
It's been freezing temperatures out there. So I don't want to sit there and go, I'm Adrian Scott,
Yeah.
because I'm freezing my cookers off.
Yeah. Well, before you know it, you'll have everything going. You'll have your fireplace going in the background, and it'll be good. So that's awesome, my friend. Well, I don't want to keep you much longer. You probably want to get, you probably want to wind down and get yourself ready for sleep, I guess, or maybe you still have a little bit of work to do. I'm not sure.
Tomorrow, so I got to go get my lunch packed up, and I think the missus was just in the process of getting Autumn and Abby into bed. Oh, I just as a little bit of news for you and for anyone watching. So, unfortunately, on a downside, Autumn decided she didn't want to do Taekwondo anymore. Both of the girls had been doing Taekwondo classes. Autumn has decided she doesn't want to do it anymore, so she's left. That's kind of the downside of it. But on the good news, Abigail just got her full yellow belt.
Wow.
So she's yet another rung up. Next up for her is a green stripe for anybody that understands that stuff.
Good for her.
Here she is, 9 years old. 9 years old, already working on a green stripe.
Good for her.
Yep.
I hope she continues with it. It's too bad that Autumn didn't stay with it. That girl's got legs. She could drop kick anybody if she wanted to.
I don't want to embarrass her or anything, but it seems like she actually signed up for a Taekwondo tournament. And so it was her first tournament ever. And I think no, I didn't post that. You know what? That's another video I should put up, even on my own personal channel or something, because I recorded the whole thing. But she went to this tournament. She completed in a couple of different functions. The main one was actual sparring, which is mostly what Taekwondo is about, where you're actually kicking and punching, your competitor. And
Yeah.
You have to do it in a certain way, and then they score you, and so on and so forth. And she went into this thing. At the time, she was a white belt with a yellow stripe. So that's like one small notch over a beginner, right? And she goes into this tournament, and she wins her first sparring match, which was against someone her own belt level. Her second match, she was matched against a green belt. That is several belt levels higher than her. She won. And in the final round she was put against a red belt. You're pushing upwards towards black belt territory once you're in the reds.
Yeah.
And she was one hit away from basically forcing an overtime match. Like, it was that close. She was on the brink of winning, of beating a red belt.
Why would she not want to continue if she's that good?
When she was put in the match, she didn't realize who she was going to be sparring. And you could see that once she saw across the ring to her competitor that it was this red belt, you saw she had a complete meltdown. She was in hysterics. She was bawling her. She was terrified. And I get it. I totally understand. We felt so bad for her. We couldn't go out there and do anything. So we told her Taekwondo teacher, he went out there, he tried to calm her down. And again, after a little pep talk from her teacher, she went out there and almost beat this person. But I think it really scared her. She was terrified. And from that point on, the first thing was she said she refused to spar, that she would go to Taekwondo, but she refused to spar. And we said, well, you don't have to do any more tournaments. Would you still go to class? And at first she said yes, but that's where it kind of changed. So it's unfortunate that she left. But I mean, she in doing as well as she did at that tournament, it was hosted by another school. And the head teacher of that school, when she found out, she's like, okay, this is a yellow stripe. And sorry, whoa, wait, this is her first tournament ever? She was absolutely dumbstruck at how well Autumn did. Like, I only hope that later on in life, Autumn realizes the accomplishment that she did there, because that was monumental.
Yeah.
And, you know, even if she doesn't do it anymore, she's got this incredible silver medal, only because she lost to this red belt. Otherwise, she would have had the gold. She got the silver medal and a bronze medal for the other things she competed in, and she'll have those for the rest of her life.
So let me ask you something again, without trying to embarrass her. Why did she decide that she didn't want to do it anymore?
Well, like I said, I think it was the fear factor. She was so scared at that moment that's the kind of thing. It's that sort of that once bitten, twice shy thing.
Yeah, but doesn't Taekwondo teach you not to be fearful, that you can defend yourself?
Yes. And that's what we were trying to encourage her. I said, if you just stick with it, you don't have to do any tournaments, but I think you'll learn to overcome that fear.
Yeah.
I just don't think she's ready for that yet. Who knows? When she gets a little older,
maybe she'll want to redo it. Yeah.
Yeah. She'll want to go back, you know, she might have to start over, but
maybe when she sees Abby and how she's progressing, she'll like, you know, I really should do this again. You never know. But, you know, that sort of thing there, you don't.
Little petite Abigail, you know, she's so tiny.
I know.
And every time I see her in her Taekwondo uniform, the image that I constantly have is of that one Star Wars movie with Yoda when he's fighting the guy and he's like bouncing all over him and everything. It's like I just see this little whirling dervish of Abigail in between the legs coming up and this and that.
I can see Abigail at a tournament and she's standing up against someone else that's maybe one belt higher and it looks like David and Goliath. And all she does is just drop kick the knees, you know, or something like that, right?
Can I tell you one really cool thing about Abby in her Taekwondo?
What's that?
She hasn't done any tournaments yet. Like, she's only now gone up a class, so she's going to start sparring. She's really excited about sparring. Go figure. But part of their classes are, if you misbehave, if you don't respect the teacher, if you don't do what you're told to do, you find yourself doing a lot of push-ups. right?
Oh
And
yeah.
it could be like they'll do an attention, right? Everyone has to stand at attention and everything, and they'll recite the tenets of Taekwondo, and you have to be totally still and quiet while that's happening. And he watches everyone, and if you move around during that afterwards, you have to do like 10 push-ups, right? And then other times, if you're not listening, you have to do 10 push. So they're doing push-ups all the time. And here's Abigail. So all these other kids in there, they're all sitting there and they're barely lifting themselves off the ground, and they're kind of cheating, and they're only going up halfway, and they're just making shortcuts and not doing proper push-ups. Here's Abigail out there. She's like the Terminator T-1000. She's got the full arms going, and then not just that, she's going knuckle push-ups. So she's getting the it's getting the hands ready. Tournament?
Sounds like a little bit of a show off there. Watch me, I can do push-ups on my knuckles. That's funny.
The teacher does that as a challenge for the class, but she's doing them normally.
That's funny.
All push-ups are knuckle push-ups.
I hope she sticks with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Right on. Well, I appreciate hearing those stories. That's really nice. Yeah, I guess it's her birthday coming up pretty quick here, eh?
Yep. Just don't tell anyone, but she's getting a pair of rollerblades.
Oh, nice. When is her birthday again?
February 22nd.
That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, Chelsea's birthday would have been on the 10th, so that's only a couple of days away. Yeah.
So she's like right smack in the middle of her two girls.
Yeah.
Because there's Autumn on January 22nd.
Yeah.
And then Abigail on February 22nd.
If she was still here, they could all three of them have their birthdays together, right?
They just about could, couldn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Well, friend, I'm going to let you go. Pleasure as always to talk with you. And yeah, we'll have to check in with you next week, possibly with an update.
It's almost done.
That's right. Stick with me for a second there, my friend. Anyway, friends, pleasure to have you all viewing once again. Check with us next time with myself and Adrian Scott as he updates us on what the big empty hopefully sounds like the big insulated. Until next time, everyone, God bless you all in the name of Yeshua. Bye for now.